Hi everyone. I am going to give us just a little time for individuals to log on, and I want to address the city as well as the county and those who live in our region regarding what we're going through here as a community. My apologies. Is it sideways? No, don't. How was that? Can you all give me feedback that gets us where we need to be? Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Is my video feed coming in crooked? All right. All right, I want to do, thank you. Good deal. Hey everybody for logging in. I want to start out by apologizing for being a little late today. Our family asked for your prayers. We just lost a beloved member of our family, as well as the Vicksburg and Warren County community. So I'm going to keep it brief today, and we'll address some of these things going forward. But I wanted to come to you all as an elected official. I think it's important that as many of us play a role as possible, from clergy to business owners or anyone who have any sphere of influence, to remind as many people as possible of some key things to keep us safe, keep you safe, and keep your family safe during this time. First and foremost and paramount is patience. It is absolutely important that we all exercise patience during this time. You can't fix anything today as we're currently living through a crisis. Things that you may feel could have been fixed 10 years ago or 20 years ago, this ain't the time to fix them today. No one is in a posture or position to fix them. If we feel or anyone feels there's lack of preparedness, we address that going forward. I will, for one, be pushing for a look back next week and requesting that the city and the county work together, as I always have, to do a look back on what we experienced and to better prepare us going forward. We need to exude patience with individuals on the streets, with people in the grocery stores. There are a lot of individuals who are desperate, and there are individuals who just don't know. But through patience, we can take a situation that's already dire and ensure that it doesn't get exacerbated or worsened. Some of the things I want to remind us about is bundling up and warmth. It's so important that your children, your elderly are reminded, and even yourselves, your spouses and family, to bundle up during this time. When we have complex situations like this, they get worse when someone catches the flu or cold or isn't dressed properly with shoes and you have a slip and fall. Please be reminded that we're dealing with this ice storm on top of a COVID crisis, which means that the hospitals are already inundated, your doctors and your nurses are already inundated, and our first responders are already stretched to the hilt. So we have got to remind each other, your neighbors, everyone, to bundle up accordingly. That's something on your heads that's layered down, sweaters, jackets on top, vests, blankets, several blankets if you need to sleep, socks, things on your feet, for example. Which brings me to the second reminder around heating. I will be and have spoken a lot about the age of our houses here in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Again, we can't change it today, but you better believe that I am going to be on it first thing next week as passionately as I have in the past. We don't need to update our houses for the sunny days. We need updated housing for everyone for these times. We're not looking to update houses and make sure people have decent living conditions for the health of them. We have to make sure they have living conditions that are decent for their health. So it's not a wish list thing. It's something that has to be done. How does that affect, or what's the tie-in? Right now we've got people who don't know how to heat their homes properly because they've got faulty radiators or heating and air systems. I've gotten so many calls of individuals who have done things to try to survive and stay warm during this time that are quite frightening and scary. Please, please remind loved ones and be reminded yourselves that to heat your home using alternative heating methods carries a huge risk to it. Leaving ovens on, boiling water on the stove, space heaters that are near drapery and covers and clothing. We've got to be very, very careful with those things. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Coming out of this, again, today isn't the day to fix it, but we will have reminders and trainings in this community, if I have something to do with it, that we have to have our smoke alarms installed properly, tested, as well as carbon monoxide alarms. So be careful, you all, as you are looking for heating from your vehicles, and be careful with carbon monoxide. The third item I want to remind us of is helping one another. It is extremely important that you stay in communication with your neighbors. That's the easiest way to reach someone, as well as your family members. It's a little tougher when someone's in need across town, but check in with your neighbors. You don't know who has running water or not, and if you do have running water, it's important that we reach out and share during these times. We need water to flush toilets, we need water to wash dishes, and we need drinking water. So if you can, please check in with your neighbors, check in with the elderly, and fill containers for them out of your tap if you've got it. The best way for us to get through this is to work together. And the last item I want to discuss with you all before logging out, because we do have a family emergency going on here today, is that we take the time and understand where the resources are and who to call for what, and be highly driven by prioritizing it. There will be and are right now lots and lots of needs. Our system is pushed to the brink as it is, and by system I mean everything. I mean 911, we mean the fire department, we mean the county offices, the city offices. So prioritize to the best you can your needs and reach out for those most critical needs. Given the storm that is projected to come through tonight as well, it looks like we might not have reprieve totally until this weekend. So folk who are in dire need of water, if you have food items, it may not be the items that you want to eat, but you've got food nonetheless, then let's look at the priority of that. If you can't get out of your house because your porch is frozen over, but you don't need to, let's look at the priority of that. There are vehicles that are two-wheel drive. We have seen vehicles abandoned all across the city, and that going out in vehicles that can't make it obviously puts other people at risk. So the question is, what's the priority of going out? If you can be patient until someone with a four-wheel drive can help you for things that are critical, then that's what we have got to do. We owe each other that. okay? And lastly, please stay tuned into the elected officials' social media, as well as their websites and the newspapers. That's where we're going to get critical information. For those who are sharing on Facebook, make sure the information is vetted. And today's climate, at 3 p.m. Central Time, it is critical that we don't send someone across town looking for something from a store that was reported to be open that isn't open and was never open. So we have to understand that information is king right now, and to the degree that it is, we have to make sure that information is accurate. So remember, you all, patience is going to get us through this. Patience with one another, patience with our elected officials. We can't make changes today as we're living the current emergency. Once we come out of this, we will do a look back. I've got some very concrete plans to ensure that we are prepared better going forward. But today ain't the day. It's not the time. So stay in contact with your elected officials. Listen to the orders and the curfews or whatever may come from City Hall. That does govern the city. And then as it relates to the Warren County Board of Supervisors, same thing. Be careful with your heating, and understand that it is difficult to deal with cold weather in general, but it's a lot more difficult when you have your home and your family at risk of fire. So if it comes to bundling up and huddling together versus boiling water on a stove for which you might fall asleep and cause a fire, we need to bundle up. When we come out of this, we will have some solutions. There are lots of people rallying together, but prioritize your need, and let's try to be patient as we make it through this. My number is 601-831-6428. A lot of us have been fielding calls and trying to get information flowing in the right direction to help each other. But you all stay safe. It is my prayer that Vicksburg pulls through this in the next few days, along with other communities in this nation, without any additional deaths. And then from there, I promise you that I'm here to work with you to make sure that we are better prepared next time. You all stay safe. Be blessed.